Across all mediums, from comics to games to TV shows and movies, what Batman represents and his symbol has been explored, often heavily influenced by the death of his parents, as it should be. There's a reason why we are constantly retold the story of his origins over and over again. It's the core of who Batman is, of who Bruce Wayne is, what drives him to put on the cape and cowl. Batman Mask of the Phantasm doesn't shy away from retelling his origins, but offers a more original take, or perhaps just another angle at a story we are already so familiar with. Thomas and Martha Wayne's deaths are often used as a reference point, something familiar the audience knows about the character. But in Mask of the Phantasm, we see the struggle of making the choice to become Batman, and the destructive nature of the promise to do so. The opening 10 minutes establishes all we need to know about this Bruce Wayne. He's the masked vigilante fighting crime. He's a divisive figure not liked by all. He's intelligent, analytical, but isolated, with his home far apart from the main city. He's a billionaire playboy with commitment issues, but most importantly, his character is driven by sadness. He's bound to his commitment to the vow he made to his parents, and we can see the weight of this commitment with his parents' portrait looming over him. It's quite difficult to show dark themes and emotions without some contrast. Throughout the 70-minute movie, we are peppered with colourful flashbacks, introducing us to a time before Batman, when Bruce was considerably happier, meeting Andrea. This is how the movie explores the topics of today's video, grief and destiny. Bruce meets Andrea for the first time in a graveyard, where he overhears her speaking with her deceased mother. It's important to note again, his parents loom over him, whereas Andrea is above her mother's grave. These two characters, while sharing a common struggle in dealing with the death of a loved one, are at two very different points in their grieving process. Bruce is still heavily influenced by his parents' death and the vow he made to them. Andrea, on the other hand, has come to accept the passing of her mother. She's in control. We cannot change the past, but we can take control of the present to change the future. It's Andrea that again engages with Bruce. She's taking control, turning up unannounced to Bruce's home as he's training to eventually become what we know as the Batman. The core story focuses on this new masked figure going around killing old mob bosses, with Batman getting the blame. It's no mistake the mob and authorities make this error. The masked phantasm is Andrea. The new angle I speak of is that we essentially are being told the story of Batman's origins, but with Batman as a key component of the story, witnessing someone else go through his struggles and journey. One of the best scenes in all of Batman comes when Bruce finally accepts he's happy. After so long, he's got to the point in his own grieving journey that Andrea was at when they first met. He's letting go, putting himself on the path of self-healing for the first time.
I didn't count on being happy.
However, this happiness is temporary, as Andrea's father owes money to certain mob members, money he doesn't have, forcing him to go into hiding along with his daughter. This crushes Bruce, sending him back down the path we know, the path to Batman. It gives his origin a new layer. His decision to be Batman is a tragedy. It's not about saving Gotham here, it's about the death of Bruce Wayne. We see in Alfred's expression he's not so much afraid of Batman, but afraid he's lost that little boy he took care of for so many years. Batman has let go of Bruce Wayne. The difference between Batman and the Phantasm is that his fight is for justice, whilst Andrea is out for vengeance. His story has progressed, whilst Andrea is just beginning, and is at risk of not learning the lesson Bruce once did. After leaving Bruce, one day Andrea returned home to find her father murdered by the man yet to become the Joker, fully cementing how their stories are both intertwined. the Joker's role is what ties it all up in a neat bow. This is what sends Andrea down her path for vengeance, leading her to where Bruce was just as they had met, filled with anger, sadness, and feeling obligated to avenge his parents. Just one mob member remains for Andrea to complete her mission, the Joker. He resides in the remains of the Gotham World's Fair, a once bright, hopeful utopia, not unlike the relationship shared between our protagonist's story at the time, but now decaying, rotten from the core thanks to the Joker. Over the years, he's broken them both. Upon completing her mission, however, sees nothing resolved. She's alone. We may not be the cause of one's trauma, but we are responsible for how we allow it to affect our life moving on. We must let go.
Vengeance blackens the soul, Bruce. I always feared you would become that which you fought against. You walk the edge of that abyss every night. But you haven't fallen in, and I thank heaven for that.